Concept 1B. Or, maybe, KPZ 50T. I'm sure, this question is raised by many players. Surely, because no one wants to waste so many bonds in vain. As this theme is very actual now, I decided to make a video, which of these two tanks to choose to do not regret. So, let's begin. To determine which tank is better, we should compare them head to head. Namely, their characteristics, pros and cons of each tank, comfort of playing, and relevance. Even though the vehicles are of different class, I think this comparison is appropriate. You'll see why. So, I propose to begin with the American. Concept 1B is a reward American heavy tank of the 9th tier. The starting price for it is 20,000 bonds. For passing one season of ranked battles you can get a discount of 1,000 bonds. So, passing 3 seasons of ranked battles, it will cost you only 17,000 bonds. This all applies to the KPZ 50T as well, to avoid repeating later. Is the Concept 1B worth the money? Definitely, yes. Let's look into why. Among pluses of this tank we can mark, first of all, its mobility. As for a heavy tank, Concept has an incredible mobility. The top speed is 45 km per hour. The specific engine power is almost 21 horsepower per ton. These are the base figures. If you use a turbocharger, you can improve them to such. This is one of the fastest heavy tanks of the 9th tier. It can't but rejoice. The next plus is the armor. Looking at the 3D model of this tank, you can be surprised how strong it is. The turret has an average of 280 mm of armor. There are small vulnerabilities, but it's pretty hard to hit them. Overall, this turret is pretty strong. As for the hull, it's also sturdy. Although the frontal projection is not very strong, but the sides have armor as much as 120 mm. If you put the tank at this angle, even tier 10 tanks would have a difficult to penetrate it, let alone enemies of 9th and 8th tiers. Here we can point to the first disadvantage, namely, a lot of vulnerabilities. Although they are quite small, and again, they are not so easy to hit. But nevertheless, it is there. In general, Concept 1B is not a most armored heavy tank. But given its awesome mobility, this armor is more than worthy. Let's move on. Firepower. The American has a pretty controversial gun. Among its obvious pluses we can mark an excellent stabilization, and depression angles of 10 degrees. But there are also minuses. The low average penetration of basic and premium shells. Not that it's horrible. Just sometimes it can cause discomfort. Well, I would not classify such characteristics as accuracy, aiming time and damage per minute as either pluses or minuses. It's just balanced, no more. As for the gameplay, Concept 1B is a versatile tank, and it can adapt to any situation on the battlefield. It mainly fights with heavy and medium tanks at close and medium ranges. Unless it can play as a sniper. In this respect, the KPZ is better. The comfort of playing this tank I would rate it 10 out of 10. It's the same Chieftain, only at tier 9. As for the relevance of this tank, I'll not even say anything. Just look at this. I think you understand it. Dear friends, don't forget to like or dislike this video, and write a comment. It would greatly help to promote this video in YouTube recommendations. Well, now let's look at the German. The KPZ 50T is a reward German medium tank of the 9th tier. Damn, it's a very strange tank. All its features are controversial, and they don't mix well. Let's try to analyze its pluses. Armor. If you look at the 3D model of this tank, at first it would seem that it's nice. And it really is. The upper part of the hull and turret have from 250 to 270 mm of armor. This is very good. However, there is one thing. The sides armor is only 40 mm. This means, guns with a caliber of 120 mm or more, will always hit you in the sides. No matter what angle the tank is standing at. At times, this can be very annoying. Yes, and don't forget about the huge bottom part of the hull, which has only 160 mm of armor. So, The armor is seemingly there, but at the same time there are two huge vulnerabilities, which negate this armor. It's the same with the gun. The undoubted pluses of the gun are accuracy, aiming time, and excellent average penetration of basic shells. But, at the same time, damage per minute leaves much to be desired. Depression angle of the gun is 8 degrees. It's not bad, but the concept is still better. Stabilization is balanced, no more. With the mobility too, not everything is as smooth as we would like. The top speed is 60 km per hour. Specific engine power is 18 horsepower per ton. The main problem is that the KPZ is very slow to accelerate, and almost never gets its top speed. Only if from a hill. Unfortunately, turbocharger doesn't solve this problem. The same concept 1B instantly gets its top speed. So, let's recap. The KPZ 50T is an armored medium tank, with huge vulnerabilities, a pretty good gun, and controversial mobility. Okay. You might think that I hate this tank, and criticizing it on purpose, but that's not true. KPZ is currently one of the best medium tanks at Tier 9. If it had a less accurate, but more rapid-fire gun, or, for example, poor mobility, but stronger armor, it would be logical. But, nevertheless, this tank is good as it is. It's a versatile tank, as well as the concept 1B. As for gameplay, KPZ can be a good sniper, and also fight with heavy tanks at close and medium ranges. Thus, I would rate the comfort of playing on this tank at 7 out of 10. So, comparing both of these tanks, we can conclude. The concept 1B is definitely better. And if you want a more comfortable and stable in all aspects tank, which you will enjoy playing, American is your choice. And, only if you really want KPZ 50T, and you are sure that it will be better for you, then take a German tank. Well, thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope you found it useful. It's time to say goodbye. Good luck to everyone. And remember, don't play World of Tanks.